In the heart of a bustling city, an air of anticipation filled the room at the Human Rights Campaign fundraiser. Attendees mingled, exchanging pleasantries and ideas, united by a common goal of advocating for equality and justice. Among them was Jasmine Crockett, a rising star in the Democratic Party, known for her fiery speeches and unapologetic stance on social issues. As she took the stage, her supporters cheered, ready to rally behind her latest call to action. But what followed would set off a chain reaction that would challenge her political career and reshape her public image. "Let's give it up for Governor Hot Wheels," she exclaimed, a playful jab directed at Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who uses a wheelchair due to a disability. The crowd responded with nervous laughter, a mix of surprise and discomfort rippling through the audience. What was intended as a light-hearted quip quickly spiraled into a national controversy. Clips of her remark circulated on social media, igniting outrage among advocacy groups, political strategists, and even her allies in the media. The backlash was swift and unforgiving. The comment was particularly poignant in light of a viral video featuring a veteran who spoke passionately about the importance of respecting all individuals, regardless of their circumstances. This video resonated deeply with viewers, amplifying the condemnation of Crockett's words. Advocacy organizations that had once praised her for her commitment to social justice now found themselves grappling with the implications of her insensitivity. The very people she sought to uplift began to question her judgment and sincerity. As the controversy deepened, Kash Patel, a political strategist known for his methodical approach, seized the opportunity to scrutinize Crockett's past remarks. He began compiling evidence of her history of inflammatory rhetoric, which only intensified the scrutiny surrounding her. Statements she had made in the past, including one about knocking Ted Cruz over the head, resurfaced, painting a picture of a politician whose words often danced on the edge of divisiveness. The Democratic Party, already facing challenges from within, grew increasingly uneasy with Crockett's refusal to back down. Patel's response was calculated and calm, a stark contrast to the chaos surrounding Crockett. He released a video detailing her controversial statements, presenting them in a measured tone that resonated with viewers across the political spectrum. The video quickly gained millions of views, praised for its evidence-based approach and lack of sensationalism. It struck a chord, particularly among veterans and centrist voters who had once supported Crockett but now felt disillusioned by her leadership style. As her approval ratings began to plummet, cracks in her support became evident. Democratic strategists recognized that her arrogance was becoming a larger problem than the original comment itself. Donor support began to dwindle, and the media scrutiny intensified. In a town hall meeting, Crockett's defiance was on full display as she refused to apologize, arguing that people should be more offended by Abbott's policies than her words. The muted response from the audience revealed a disconnect between her rhetoric and public sentiment, further eroding her credibility. Amidst the turmoil, whispers of a primary challenge began to circulate. The political landscape was shifting, and her colleagues were growing increasingly concerned about the implications of her leadership style. Then came the tipping point. Elijah Brennan, a former aide who had worked closely with Crockett, publicly criticized her for her refusal to acknowledge her mistakes. His words resonated with many who had witnessed the fallout firsthand, adding fuel to the fire of her political decline. Brennan's critique was not just a personal attack. It highlighted a fundamental truth about leadership. In a time when humility and accountability were paramount, Crockett's defiance painted her as out of touch. The incident served as a stark reminder of the essential qualities that define effective leadership. While Patel's composed response garnered respect, Crockett's unwillingness to reflect on her actions alienated her from those she sought to represent. As the weeks passed, the fallout continued. Polls showed a significant drop in her approval ratings, a 10-point plunge that sent shockwaves through her campaign team. The once promising trajectory of her political career now hung in the balance, overshadowed by a single moment of insensitivity. Conversations among party leaders turned to strategies for damage control, but the damage had already been done. In the wake of this controversy, the narrative of Crockett's political journey shifted dramatically. What had begun as a celebration of her achievements morphed into a cautionary tale about the consequences of careless rhetoric. Her supporters, once eager to champion her cause, found themselves grappling with disappointment and disillusionment. The very qualities that had endeared her to the public, her passion and tenacity, now seemed overshadowed by a lack of humility. As the political landscape continued to evolve, the story of Jasmine Crockett became a lesson for aspiring leaders. It underscored the importance of understanding the impact of one's words and actions, particularly in a world where social media could amplify both praise and criticism in an instant. The contrast between Crockett's defiance and Patel's measured approach served as a reminder of the power of humility in leadership. In the end, the fallout from that fateful comment at the fundraiser would linger long after the headlines faded. It would serve as a pivotal moment in Crockett's career, a turning point that challenged her to confront her own shortcomings and reevaluate her approach to leadership. As she faced the consequences of her actions, the question remained: would she learn from this experience and emerge stronger, or would the shadows of her past continue to haunt her future? Only time would tell, but one thing was certain. The political landscape had shifted, and the path ahead would require a new level of introspection and growth.